Start now?
Yeah, we're going to start.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. I don't know what the problem is. It's very unusual, but things happen. So it's a perfect timing for having a problem because we are talking about problems in the world. So it's a
Correct.
perfect timing, right?
Yes, we'll start.
Let's start with introducing myself first, who I am, and what is the day for today, and what we are doing.
Professor, let me speak first. Then I'll
Right.
then you speak.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Respected Chief Speaker for today's international online webinar, Dr. John Umit Palabiyik, Assistant Professor, Framingham State University, Boston, United States of America. Honorable Managing Director of RKDF Group, Sri Siddharth Kapoor, Honorable Vice Chancellor of RKDF University, Ranchi, Jharkhand, India, Dr. S. Chatterjee, respected Registrar, RKDF University, Ranchi, Dr. Amit Kumar Pandey, Controller of Examination, Dr. Kumkum Khawas, Director of Academics, Dr. Anita Kumari, respected faculty members across India, research scholars, and my beloved students all over the nation. I, Pankaj Chatterjee, Head of Department of Hotel Management, welcomes you all on the eve of World Environment Day. On this program is getting conducted under Paryavaran Sanrakshan Gatividhi. The topic of today's discussion will be environment and tourism. Now, I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. S. Chatterjee, for the welcome address, please.
Okay, thank you, Professor Pankaj. Yeah, let me start. I, Dr. S. Chatterjee, Vice Chancellor of RKDF University, Ranchi, welcome our Chief Guest and Speaker, Dr. John Umit,
Thank you.
who is currently working as an Assistant Professor at Boston, USA. We are very much thankful to you, sir, for giving your very precious time for this international webinar. The topics of the webinar is environmental and tourism. It is a very interesting and lucrative topic. So before your session will start, I would like to request you to give me some time to brief myself about our university, RKDF University, Ranchi. RKDF University, Ranchi was established in the year of 2018 under the leadership of Dr. Sunil Kapoor, who is the chairman of RKDF Group, dedicated to fulfill his dream of establishing an institution for quality education for people of Jharkhand. Jharkhand is basically a tribal belt, and for their education, it was the dream of our chairman, Dr. Sunil Kapoor. This RKDF group started its journey in 1994, and presently this RKDF group has a
I think sir is having some net issue.
Sir, can't hear Sujitrangshu, sir.
There is some network issue from here.
Okay, wait, due to technical issue, please.
I think sir is having some connectivity issue. So we'll just see for a few seconds. Yeah, sir has left the meeting. Okay, because maybe he's having some connectivity issue. So I, on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, welcome you, sir, on this program. and I'm sure that this program will be a fun type something, interesting. You are a young professor there, and we have a lot of expectation. The students, the research scholars, a lot of our research scholars has also joined this program, who are undergoing PhD at RKDF University, Ranchi. So they will also be, getting benefited with your lecture. So before we start, I want to introduce Professor John. Professor John Palabiyik has about 25 years of national and international industry experience. He has focused on the academic career and worked as a hotel, restaurant, and hospitality management educator at various institutions such as Stanford, Texas Tech, Framingham State University, Arundel, and Frederick Community College. Lodging, F&B operations, corporates, and fermented adult beverages are Professor John's primary research interest. Professor John currently, John current certification includes PhD in Hospitality Administration, MBA in Hospitality, Serve Safe Food Management, Tips Instructor, and Proctor. Professor John currently works as an assistant professor for the Management, Business, and Information Technology
Many
Department
MOUs with
of
different
Framingham
companies.
State University, Boston, United
Yeah,
States of America.
yeah.
Uh,
So is it audible, Pankaj?
yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Yeah, right. So actually, we have signed many MOUs with different companies for research, faculty, and student exchange program. With the Ministry of Human Resource Development for BBA Logistic and BMS courses also. We have our own house, publication house, that is International Journal. Name as Intermediate Engineering, Science and Management. It has also got its accession number, UGC recognition. RKDF faculties are very, very well qualified, dynamic and energetic to nature. To nurture the student with research-based education and make them competent to survive in the developing world. We have already published more than 40 journal paper within this span of 2 years. RKDF University is participating in the conversion of environmental scene. The present scenario of RKDF University has launched tree ambulance, which is for the treatment of tree in the area in and around of Ranchi, which was highly appreciated by all over India. Our students are working in Saturday and Sunday also in this aspect. Our 10 students from RKDF University has completed social internship program under the banner of Paryavaran Sanrakshan Gatividi this last November. We have also participated in Environmental Youth Icon 2021, which are national level program and hosted in a regional level also. Currently, RKDF University has organized Paryavaran Provadhan program under the banner of Paryavaran Sanrakshan Gatividi, which was completely based on Polythene Mukh Mahakumbh in Haridwar. This RKDF University within a span of 2.5 years has grown up like anything and earned many prestigious honors in and around India. Now I would like to request our Professor Pankaj Chatterjee, HOD, Department of Hotel Management, to continue with this webinar. Please, Pankaj Chatterjee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As we were already discussing about Professor John's experience and all, so Professor John is currently working as an assistant professor for the Management, Business and Information Technology Department of Framingham State University, Boston, United States of America, to build a well-recognized hospitality program and owns a hospitality consulting firm. With these words, I expect Professor John to take over the session, and because as sir told that RKDF University Ranchi has done a lot of things for the environment that we consider as our social responsibility. We have a tree ambulance which helps the trees which are not taken care on the road and all. So our students take care of those trees, especially on Saturday, Sunday, they do that. We also have an oxygen park. We have created an oxygen park under the leadership of our registrar, Dr. Umit Pandey. So we have an oxygen park also, where teachers get 1 hour time every day to spend before they go home. All the tensions and all this, whatever they have in work, they keep it here. They enjoy the park and then they go home. So this is the concept of RKDF University on environment. So over to you, Professor, now. Your mic is off, Professor.
Yes. All right. It's always something with the technology, right?
Right.
All right. So it's first of all, thank you very much for a really great introduction. I really enjoyed it. It sounds really promising, and I will try to be someone like you explained. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. You made a really great introduction, but I would like to say a few sentences. Sure. It's more than myself, about you actually. I'm really honored. It's really a privilege to be here. I love to see all bright minds are joining here, and they are trying to learn what's going on in the world and what is the special for today. What makes today special? So I really admire you. Everybody who joins here, you can actually clap yourself. It's great to be here. That's one of the good things you have done today for yourself. I would like to send my greetings from Massachusetts. It's a wonderful day out there. It's a wonderful state, wonderful city, Boston, and the outside is really great. I look at the outside from my window and I say, there are a lot of things people can do now, but they are here. So it's really honoring for me. So that's really something I would like to put out really clear. As you explained, I have extensive business experience. I came from academy to, I came from business to the academy. And I like both of them, and I like to combine both of them. I like to be a kind of bridge between industry and the academy. So what I will explain here, what we will discuss here today is actually a combination of industry and academy, and as a sense of humor, what I feel about today, right? Before we start, I would like to ask a question, but I will keep talking. When I'm talking, I will ask audience to write me at least one word, one sentence. What is the top global issue right now in the world? So think about it. What's the biggest problem right now in the world? If you can type in the chat session, while you are typing it, I will keep talking what's going on in the world right now. But I'm really curious, from your window, what do you think is the biggest problem right now? I'm not going to give you any clue. And actually, everybody might think has a different problems we are having. Just to give an example, if I'm really hungry, I can't find the food. I think the biggest problem for me is the food, right? I'm just giving an example. So that's why I would like to hear what is the biggest problem in the world. I'm looking at the chat and I'm trying to understand everything. And if you ask this many different countries, everybody will answer in a different way. If you are asking if someone really needs food, will say my biggest problem is the food. If you ask someone as probably in your country right now, the COVID-19 is extremely heavy, and I do feel bad to see that. Hopefully you will get over soon. Probably the biggest problem is the COVID-19. That's what I would say. If you ask someone in a country that they are struggling with the money, they may say the biggest problem is the finance, the economic problems. If you are talking someone like who is addictive to drug, probably the biggest problem for this person, the drug, they can't find the drug. So it changes for everybody. But I'm looking at all these notes and everything. Everybody has an idea. One person says COVID-19, other person says like the pollution, other person says something else. But if you put everything all together, you might see that the problems are more like natural, right? Anything else we can fix, anything else. But the natural problems is something is really huge. I will give an example from the United States. Our country, the Federal Bureau, made a speech, and they explained to people that the biggest problem right now we are having in the world is actually is the global warming, and it's getting worse and worse. The biggest problem in the world. And it's interestingly, Mr. Bill Gates explained it, and he said, if you combine all the problems we are having in the world right now, all problems, put them all together, they're nothing compared to global warming, including COVID-19. Anything else combined together is nothing compared to global warming. And it's sad to say that even in my country, even here in the United States, people will tell you there's no global warming. People will tell you. And more important, even you will have presidents will tell you that. They will tell you we don't have the global warming. Probably they're living in a different world. But the question is not if there is or not. The question is when it's going to hit us. We are not saying if there is a global warming. The question is when it's going to hit you, right? Well, if we keep doing what we are doing right now, I would say if we doing the same thing all the same time, I would say maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you'll start to see the really terrible results because of the global warming. So why did I mention about the global warming? Because this is so obvious. It's just coming. You can picture it, a truck. It's coming towards to you, and there's no way to stop it. It's coming to you with like 150 miles. So if you keep saying that truck is not coming to me, it's something, but also it's something to say how I can stop it or how I can get out of the way of the truck. That's what we are supposed to discuss right now. So I want you to notice that, and I want you to think about it. That I think this is the biggest problem. And what we are discussing today is a very unique day, because actually tonight, it's a tomorrow, but tonight is the eve of that special day. It sounds like a one day out of whole 365 days. Only one day is we are thinking about it. That's wrong. We think about it every day. There are a lot of science men and women. There are a lot of people discussing how we can fix that problem. And hopefully after today, you will take a part of it and you will start to say the world is important. Anything else we can fix, but we cannot fix if we mess the world. There's no other world. There's only one world here. I know the people are trying to go to Mars. It's a new place. It's really exciting. It's really kind of makes us to feel like, oh, that's a new world. It's a new thing to do. It's great to do that. I love to watch what they are doing with the space. However, I hate to see what we are doing here in the world. So what we are doing. The good thing is there are good people in the world, and there are good organizations. And I would say United Nations is one of them. Health Organization is one of them. UNESCO is one of them. They all agree that we need this world. It's more than before, and we definitely have to take care of it. Taking care of the world is actually taking care of yourself. It's like your own health, right? If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of the environment, you will sooner or later you will have a problem. So why today is or which is tomorrow very important? Since 1974, United Nations said Imagine that in 1974, they decided like, hey, this has to stop. At least one day we have to stop and tell the people, hey, stop and think at least one day how you will act rest of 365 days. So that's what they did. That's your time today. Just sit down and think about it, how you will act rest of 365 days. So, or 4 days. So use that day today with a few things I will tell you, and try to use it something helpful for the environment. I don't want to go too much to details, but a few things you need to know about for today. I'm really happy to see that when you search about United Nations, you will notice that a lot of countries, including India, a lot of Asian countries, a lot of Middle Eastern countries, they're at least they're trying. I can't say they are very successful, but they're trying at least. And they are joining all these united activities, and they are trying to protect the world. And even for this year, the Pakistan is hosting all these organizations. And in the past, different countries, including India, they were hosting all these activities, which is a really great thing. That for this year, United Nations is actually have a new motto. They are saying like, let's restore the ecosystem. They are working on the restoration of the ecosystem, and they're putting it in 10 years. Those 10 years is really important, because I told you at the beginning, if you don't do anything in 10 years, you'll start to feel it very close to. And actually, a lot of places, they have already started to feel it. Just to answer your questions, I'm looking at the chat. Everybody has a perspective, and everybody has a right in a way, but we are having an overpopulation. There's a huge overpopulation, and there's a huge pollution. There's a problem with the marine pollution. There's a problem with the water consumption. There's a problem with the waste. There's a problem about carbon footprint. So if you don't know what's the carbon footprint, which is very understandable because it's a fancy word, everybody here, including myself, we leave a footprint to the world. It's a carbon footprint. How do you leave it? With the energy, which means whatever you do is actually leaves something to the world. You may not see it, but it's part of the nature. Just to give you a simple example from the United States, if you are, this is more like for the students, if you're a student here in the United States, if you are coming from an American family, when you wake up in the morning, you will have your piece of toast bread with the orange juice, you'll brush your teeth, have a shower, and your mom or dad will drive you to the school. Everything here is leaving a footprint. Using a toaster, using the energy, leaving a footprint. Using with the electric brush is leaving a footprint. Using the excessive water is leaving the footprint. Driving a, of course, I'm not trying to say don't do all these things. Of course you do it, but try to find a way leaving a less footprint, right? Living like less footprint. That's what the environment is. I would really recommend all people here watching us to focus on how we can minimize all these footprints. Now, I would like to go back and think about, because my specialization is the tourism and hospitality. So all this environment, carbon footprints, all these problems with the global warming, the water problems, waste problems, the problems with the water, problems with the environment in general, how it's connected to the tourism. There is actually interesting question. Maybe I will ask you the second question. And if you type on the chat, we can take from the chat and we can discuss a little more. There's a big discussion in the world. They say the tourism is bad for the environment. And my question is tourism bad for the environment or not? So what do you think as a student in the hospitality, as a student, you don't have to be in the hospitality, but as a student, or you don't even have to be a student, as a person living in this world, do you think that tourism and hospitality is bad for the environment? Please put your note here while I keep talking about another subject, right? I will go back to that question, but before I go back to that question, I have to mention a couple things about the things that you have been living through. We have been living through it here, all over the world. We have been living through it is the COVID-19, right? Well, the COVID-19 is a terrible disaster, and it's all over the world right now. We have been fighting with this, but we also have to ask ourselves, what is our share with this? You know, what is the contribution from us? Did we cause it, or can we stop it? Can we work it together? That's one thing. But also, I would like to tell you something. Probably you heard a lot. I'm sure you heard a lot. A lot of people told you this is a new normal. I don't know how many of you guys think this is a new normal, but I will tell you my personal opinion. The COVID-19, what we are living all over the world, it's not new and it's not normal. That's what I think. Why it's not new? Well, if you look at the Homo sapiens, you and myself, we have been in this world, I would say maybe 300,000 years, right? The microbes here with the COVID-19, they have been living in this world, it's probably almost 4 billion years. So they're not new. If someone is new here, you and myself is new here. So we have to learn how to live together with this. So that's one thing. We have to learn how to live with this environment. They have been here 4 billion years. The whole microbes and viruses there in this world, it's about 4 billion years. And we are here, it's more than 300,000 years. It's not new. Is it normal? Well, I'm not sure if it's normal for you, but it's not for me. I am not used to live with covering my face. I'm not used to live with a distance. Everybody will tell you stay in the distance, right? They will tell you keep your social distance. I will tell you the reverse. Keep your social distance is not a good thing. Be connected socially. If you really want to keep something, keep physical distance, not the social distance. Socially stay connected. Even for this is actually what we are doing is a kind of connection. I would love to be face to face, but at least we are screen to screen. It's something. At least it's something. So I want to state one more time, COVID-19 is not new. It's not normal. And we will go through with this when you start to understand this is not new, this is part of the environment, and this is not a normal if you accept that way, which means staying at home, covering your face. You have to get out. We have to get out. We have to learn how to fight with this, and we have to. The good things is science people, they are finding the good vaccines. So we have to learn how to fight with this, but you can't sit at home. In here, the very popular word to my students, I hear the people say, stay at home, you will save the world from home. That's not right. You can't save the world from home. You have to step out. So I not agree with that. So if you go back, I'm looking at all the questions here. Unfortunately, I cannot read all of them, but I'm looking at all in general comments here. Since probably you are in the tourism, you are saying that tourism is not bad for the environment. A lot of people will say that. I'm also a science man, so I will look at it a little bit suspicious. Anything is not controlled is a problem. So which means if you have something is not controlled, regulated, if you have something well organized, it is a problem. If you can't do that, you are having a problem. I'll give you an example. An example from a few countries. If you Google it, or if you search with any engines, you will find tons of cities in the world. They're protesting. They were protesting before COVID-19. They were protesting and they were saying that we do not want any tourists. We don't want any tourists. Who's doing this? Like, as a person like me, spent entire my life in the tourism, it's a shocking to me, and I'm shocked to see that people don't want the tourists, because that's what we want. We want tourists. We want the tourism. However, there are cities in the world. They were protesting. They were saying that they were staying to the entrance of the cities and telling the tourists, we don't want you. they were saying at the airports, don't come to our city, go back to your country. What are these cities? Again, I'll give you an example. I'm not blaming anybody. This is not a political talk, but people were reacting. There's a reason for that. And I understand why these people don't want to tourist. And I will explain to you that. Just to give you a few examples, there is a really wonderful city, and I'm sure, and I highly recommend you to go and visit that city. It's called Dubrovnik in Croatia. It's a wonderful city. If you are wondering, if you have never been there, the Dubrovnik, it's a Croatia. It's one of the cities from former Yugoslavia. This city is very popular in the world. The reason is one of the popular TV shows, Game of Thrones, were filmed there. So people going there like a crazy. It's a small city, very small city. And the cruise ships goes there like 2-3 of them. In each cruise ship, they have like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people. If they have like 5 cruise ships at the same time, in one day, they have like 50,000 people in and out. Like they come early in the morning, they leave in the night, crazy busy because it's really small city. Same thing, if you go to South America, it's Machu Picchu. It's like the Peru. Now they're complaining there. They were complaining. So many people were coming. If you look at the Greece, the island, small island, Santorini became really icon for the hospitality. Now they're complaining there are so many tourists over there. They were before COVID-19. Even Barcelona in Spain. Google it. I highly encourage you. Google the protest, the tourist protest in Barcelona. You'll find a lot of videos that the people are protesting. There's a reason for that. And I will tell you what it is. Same thing in Cambodia, the same problem in Netherlands, in Amsterdam, the same problem in some parks in the United States. So crowded. The United States is so crowded from the parks. And if you look at Iceland, if you look at the Venice in Italy, it's so crowded and the people don't want it. And I will tell you why people don't want it, and I agree with them. Here's the reason why they don't want it. I'll give you one example from the Spain why Barcelona doesn't want it. Each person in Barcelona, they spent 250 liters water in a day. One person average spends 250 liters water in a day. If you are local, if you are from Barcelona, you're spending like 250 liters water in one day. Each tourist spends 880 liters water. So it's like more than 3.5 times more each tourist is spending in the Barcelona. That's one of the reasons. I'll give you an example from here in the United States. This is more like magazine example because it sounds really funny, but it's terrible. I hope it's not true. But in Grand Canyon here in the United States, the rangers, they had to kill the deer because deer became something more than a deer, because the deers in Grand Canyon, they start to be, not all of them, but a few of them, they start to act differently because they became addictive to eat the junk food. The people visiting the Grand Canyon, they're giving them the junk food and they changed. They are acting differently. And they ended up to killing this. I hope this news is not right because it sounds, most people think it's funny, but I think it's terrible. You see the things are changing. Think about people in Italy, in Venice. The tourists are coming to their city. They are drinking, they're making noise, they're wasting everything. The traffic is 3 times more. And if you're local in this city, in Venice, you're getting a lot of people coming to your city. They are using all your sources and they're living. We are hoping that they're leaving money, but even if they're leaving money, they're trashing your city. So that's a big discussion. So we have to organize it. We have to regulate it. We have to teach the people how they can use their things. But I also want to remind you one more thing. There is a philosopher from China. He's a Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu. If there's a Chinese audience here, probably they know, I'm sure your region is close to China too. Lao Tzu says, your thought becomes your words becomes your actions becomes your habits becomes your character, and your character becomes your death. So you have to be careful. In the United States, we say you have to watch what you are saying, what you are wishing. All the cities, they were wishing like they don't want any tourists. Guess what? They got what they wanted. They don't have tourists right now. They don't have any tourists. And my friends in different all these cities, I was talking to them. Now they're telling me they're begging for the tourists right after COVID-19. The reason is they cannot preserve the city without the tourists, because the city is becoming lonely. They need the financial support. They need people to go there and to make this city special. So we need the people. We need the people to come to your city. We need the people to interested in your activities. However, you just need to regulate it. So the tourism is, in my understanding, the over tourism is a problem, but tourism is not a problem. So to answer my own question, by looking at your answers, the tourism is not a problem for the environment. Over tourism is, because over tourism is not regulated. You are not regulated. You are not regulating all the things. How you can regulate it? I will try to explain how we can regulate it. Then maybe we can start up some questions and we can ask to each other, if unless you want me to keep talking. But how we can regulate it? You can start to regulate it with June 5th, with the Environment Day, with yourself. Like starting tomorrow, or some of you guys, I'm sure you'll be too excited. You can start now, right after this meeting. It starts with yourself. You really need to start with yourself. How? Well, you have to change by yourself, but you have to change your life, which means you have to look at the things in a different way. You have to understand, first of all, the nature is part of you, or you are part of the nature. And I know there are a lot of cultures believe that way. I also believe that way. I don't know if it's a culture or religion, but I believe that way. I believe we are part of the nature, and we have to protect it, and we have to protect ourselves to protect the nature. So how we can do it? Well, change the way you live it. Why don't we focus on the things? Why don't we focus on the companies? Why don't we focus on the people using less energy? Why we don't focus on using the natural energy? How about using the solar energy? How about using the wind technology? And these are I don't want to say these are the future. These are today, actually. It's not even future. In United States, with the new president, we have been focusing on so much the solar energy, wind energy. You shall see soon in the United States, hopefully all over the world, there will be huge shift from regular energy, which is like coal mining, which we don't use coal mining anyway, but with the oils, we are switching to the natural energies, which is a great thing. And I'm hoping this idea, this trend will stay. I'm hoping that because who knows, the people change, politicians change, and everything changed. But you can start from yourself using the solar energy. You can start to use like wind technology. You can start to pick your politicians with this mindset. You can start to pick politicians who protect your water, your nature, and you take responsibility and ask them, hey, this is my water, this is my nature, this is my tree, I have to take care of it. You have to focus on the seeds that you are using, very natural. It starts from yourself. That's what I'm trying to explain. It starts with you. Don't expect someone will come and save you. There's no one will come and save you. That's number one thing I would like to tell you. It starts with you. One is better than nothing, and one will be two will be three, and it will keep going. And 1 million steps starts with the first step. So that's the way you should take it. And the second thing is you can change your lifestyle, and we can start to educate the people. And like we do today, you can ask your teachers, your professors, have at least a session to talk about it. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, your children, how they will take care of the day. We can have at least one day in a year, like tomorrow, to take a day off and plant a tree. So I recommend you, all people here joining, and just to give you an idea, why don't you wake up tomorrow and plant a tree? Just plant a tree. If you can't do anything, do one thing and plant a tree. Check your water, check your consumption, start with the education and start with yourself. And we have to regulate it. You can do little adjustments. You can focus on the local products. You can, because any other products you are getting from, if you are buying a banana from, I'm just making it up, from Mexico, why? Why are you buying from the Mexico? Why don't have it in India? And I'm just making it up. Probably you're not, but I'm just saying that. Try to use your local products. Try to use them in the season. Try to minimize your transportation use. Try to use less electric. Try to use like less synergy. Support the local people to support yourself. Just be respectful to the nature. Just to respect them, they will respect you. If you don't respect them, you will pay for this. Why do we have so many earthquakes, why do we have so many natural disasters? Because this is the response from the nature. The nature will say, you know what, if you don't take care of me, I will take care of myself. So it will clean up, it will wash up. So if you don't want all these disasters, take care of the nature. That's what I will tell you to. And try to take side roads, especially if you are doing tourism, which means if a city is very crowded in January, don't go that city. If a museum is very crowded on Sunday, don't go on Sunday. So you kind of take a side roads and do some side activities. If everybody's going to museum, you can go to art gallery. If everybody's going to art gallery, you can go to a music concert. If everybody's going to music concert, you can go to sport activity. So just make it a little different and active for yourself. I wish I would be there and we can plan the trio together. Hopefully we can do it today, but hopefully everything will get better. That's what I hope. Before I joined here, I was reading the news and I heard that the United States is going to donate 80 million vaccines all over the world. It's a good start. It's not enough, but it's a good start. So hopefully the world will get better. If you make it better, it's not going to get better because someone else is making it better. So that's what I would recommend you. You take the responsibility, and then it will get better. I can keep going. I can give you tons of examples from the tourism and hospitality because this is my area. This is what I do here. We can keep talking about how the hotels and restaurants are switching their activities to paperless. We can talk about how we are switching the things like less energy to make it very active. But it will take long hours and hours. My interest is more like to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think about the technology? What do you think about hospitality? What is your plan and what's your passion to work together with your colleagues? Majority of you guys, I heard you're doing PhDs and masters, you're doing studies. My recommendation, if you're doing a PhD, if you're doing a research, do something that we can apply, which means don't let it make a papers, write a papers and leave it to stay in different journals and nobody reads it. So make something that can help the people. So we can apply it. We can all use it. So that's what we need in the world. Anybody wants to have any questions, or Pankaj, do you want me to keep going, or do you want me to?
Yes. We can take some questions. I'll request participants, if they have any questions, they can write in the chat box, so that you can answer on that. And Professor, at RKDF University, Ranchi, we believe more on taking care of those trees which are already being planted instead of planting new trees. Because everywhere you see in newspaper, thousands of trees are planted. But after 7 days, maybe 900 trees are not there. So what we do, we emphasize more on taking care of those plants which are already been planted, and we take care of their upkeepment rather than planting new trees. What we do in our oxygen park here in our university also.
Wonderful. Well, let's connect this to the hospitality and some nice way to explain it. In the hospitality, it's much cheaper to keep your current customer than find a new customer.
True.
So which means keep your current customers, make them loyal, which is your current trees, keep them loyal. There's another fun way to explain it. They say, this is a real statistics, they say 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your customers, which means 80% of quality of your life comes from this 20% of environment you live around. So you have to pay attention for this. And I highly recommend you to take care of what you have before you go somewhere else, right?
Correct. True. So any questions, participants, do you have? You can write on the chat box. Professor is there to answer you. This is the right time. And I'll request Professor to be a member of our editorial board. We have a national journal. I'll send a mail to you separately for that, requesting you to be a honorary member of our editorial board.
Well, I'm just looking at the questions too. There was a question here. I get that question very often, and I really didn't want to miss it. I would like to tell you, this is something actually I asked my research. The question is saying that when do I think that everything will be normal? Or, well, I actually try to explain this. To me, everything is normal. To me, even now, everything is normal. Because what we are living is normal. It's life of part of the life. But if you are asking about tourism, which means when our hotel is going to be full, when our restaurant is going to be full. Well, the normal term, I don't want to stick there. It's, to me, the life is normal and keep going. But when your hotel will be full, when your restaurant will be full, I'll give you 2-3 examples when you can figure it out. I'll give all these examples from United States. It doesn't apply to India. The reason is this virus is changed the time, they changed the location. Now the time and location is we lost it. Like the location is we don't know right now. I don't know who you are, where you are, which means like we don't know the time. Your time is different, my time is different. We lost it because of this COVID-19. It will install. I'm just making it like it's really conflict. But here in the United States, I have been a few conferences. I will tell you the statistics, a few statistics. One of them is last Friday in the United States, we had more than 2 million air traffic, more than 2 million air traffic last Friday. This is more than 2019. It's more than before COVID-19. Right now, if you ask the cruise business in the United States, the reservations for 2022 is higher than 2019 right now. Right now, I'm talking about right now. And a month ago, my sister went to Florida and she had a problem with the hotel reservation. She couldn't find a room. And from Orlando to Miami, it's almost more than 4 hours drive. Every single hotel they drove from Orlando to Miami was full and packed. Every single hotel. They had to sleep at the parking lot. So my point is here, somewhere in the world, they're normal. They're back to normal now. And I want to connect this to another thing. All the audience here, I'm warning you, once you relieve, this can be 3 months, 6 months, a year, once you relieve, I want to let you know that you will not going to find a restaurant. They will be all packed. You're not going to find any hotel. They will be all packed. You will pay much more money to get a room. You will pay much more money get a flight because the people will go back to travel. There's no question about it. How do I know it? If you look at entire human history, this is how it happened. Every time we have a problem, as soon as it gets back, we just attacked and we start to get even better and better. This generation, all of you guys, you have seen the worst. This is an interesting generation. You have seen the worst, but believe me, you will see the record numbers. It will be the highest numbers. If you say when, I will tell you this summer will start in the United States and hopefully the following summer will start to you. And your job is to get ready. It will be back and you just get ready for this.
We have some questions in the chat box that says that is virtual tourism, I saw a question in the chat box that says, is virtual tourism, let me check. I saw the question. Check. Dr. Somnath, are you there?
Yes, sir. Hello.
You had a question, I believe, on the chat box.
Yeah. Uh, Hello, Professor. Welcome to India in virtual mode. I formally welcome you all on behalf of RKDF and entire participant, national and international. Sir, I have one question. The thing is that now the virtual era has now the time for the virtual era. We are moving for the digitalization. So, sir, could you think that this in this digital platform there is an effect of tourism? So, there is a chances of virtual tourism is increases. So there will be any effect for real tourism, which impact on the profitability tourism sector?
Well, here's my feeling about the virtual tourism. This is something actually we want to apply for virtual education. Like, can we teach the people using the virtual technology? I'll give an example. I had a company came to school. This is before COVID-19. They said, we have a new product. You're putting the virtual clothes and everything. Like you will living in a restaurant environment. You are in a hotel environment. And the people, your students will feel that they are in the restaurant, and they will react like a server or receptions in the restaurant. It sounds really great. I will tell you that much. It sounds really great. But my question was, why? I want my students to be in the restaurant, not virtually in the restaurant. I want them in the restaurant. I want my students to be in the hotel, not virtually in the hotel. So in this perspective, it is helpful. Definitely it's helpful. And definitely we will use it. And I will tell you how we are using in the United States. But it will not going to replace the tourism. No question about it. It will never replace the tourism. However, it's a tool. Like internet, do you think the internet replaced the tourism? Do you think like finding a new computer replaced the tourism? No, but they all helped. They all helped for us. So the virtual tourism is really great help, especially in today's world. I cannot go and I cannot visit Rome. I cannot visit Paris right now. It's something. It helps. But as soon as I can go to Paris, I will go to Paris. I'm not going to use the virtual thing. So that's two different things. However, in the United States, if you go to travel agent or even at home, we have some apps to do it. You can use the virtual reality. You feel, let's say you're planning a wedding. You can feel the wedding even if you plan for that. So they can make you a setups. You can see the hotel room. You can see how the wedding starts. You are at the wedding. You can see the ceremony. You have your wedding before it happens. Then you can see, okay, this is what I was dreaming. So let's do it, right? So it's good for marketing. It's good for selling. They do the same thing to sell the hotel room. They do the same thing for the restaurant. However, I don't think it will replace. Again, don't take my word because that's the way I think it. That doesn't mean everything I say is right. The life and the future will show us. But I feel the tourism is something that you can't do without the human. Your biggest resource is the human, so you have to invest on the human as much as you invest on the technology.
Professor, one more thing I want to inform you, whatever our Vice Chancellor sir told, that during that Mahakumbh in Haridwar this year, in April, we have RKDF University has donated 1 million paper plates and paper cloth bags, so that people who visits Kumbh Mela doesn't use the plastic. We tried to make the Kumbh plastic free this time.
Wonderful. A lot of people are doing it. It's same thing in the United States. We hold it for COVID-19, unfortunately. But this city I'm living or the state I'm living, they banned all the plastics. Not now, before COVID-19, but probably they will go back after COVID-19. The plastic, we are not using any plastic bags. If you go to stores, they will not going to give you the plastic. They give you the paper. I think they shouldn't even give you the paper, but they give you the paper. If you buy any drink like soda or Coke or anything with the can, they pay you. You have to pay 10 cents. It's not a lot of money, but 10 cents. But if you are buying a case, it's like about $2. You're paying like extra, and they tell you if you bring them back, we'll give your money back. So, which means in the United States now, most cities, they are minimizing the cans, they are minimizing the bottles, they are minimizing with all the plastics. However, even though they did really great things in the past, are they the best? Are they the perfect? No, they're trying to. But COVID-19 hold it for a while. Hopefully, we are going back starting July 4th.
So, Professor, we are just coming to the end of the session. So, what will be your message to the research scholars and the students over in India regarding how to shape our environment in a better way, in a small word, if you say?
Right. Well, first of all, I will recommend, and I actually give them an offer from right here, from all your students, especially my area is the tourism and hospitality, and I will talk about tourism and hospitality, but you can take it in any area. You have to, as I said, in the hospitality, the biggest thing, the biggest source is the human resource. So you invest your people. So what is investing your people? Making your people do this world like a global person, which means your students should be a person. I can take them from your class, put in my class. There should be any difference. So that's how you should educate your students. We do the same thing in the United States. We try to teach our students, you are not the US citizen, you are the global citizen. You are part of this world. So which means if I take you to put in India, if I put you in China, if I put you in Russia in the class, it will take mostly 2 days to kind of have a frustration. Then you have to have like a normal person over there. How you can do it, that's the key. The key is, which COVID-19 helped us. This is one of the benefits of the COVID-19. You collaborate. What you do is the same thing. You collaborate with other people. Other people are doing other side of the world. So when you do the research, you will hear from your professors. They will tell you, no, we want you to do your dissertation. We want your project. We want your PhD by yourself. We want you to do it by yourself. It will be only yours. Maybe your dissertation, yes, you're right. But anything else, I think it's better to make it with others, which means my recommendation to you, every single student here, find yourself a colleagues, find yourself a professors from other part of the world. It doesn't have to be the United States. It doesn't have to be India. It doesn't have to be Russia. It doesn't have to be China. Anywhere in the world, more is better. If you can find 2 different professors, find 3 different professors. It doesn't even have to be professors. Find 2, 3 other PhD students, work together. And guess what? It doesn't have to be from tourism. It's even better to find from different disciplines, which means why don't you work yourself? You are in the hospitality, someone from the chemistry, work together, work in the same project, because you need someone a different perspective from different disciplines. So my biggest recommendation is get connected, work together, collaborate. What you do here is actually one of them, collaborating with the people. And when you do it, I'm going to connect it with a really nice thing that I always tell to my student. Your net worth is your network. So keep in mind, what is your net worth? Your net worth is your network. If I look at your network, I can tell you how good you are. But when I say that, don't get me wrong, I didn't mean like 5,000 likes, or I didn't mean like 5,000 followers. I meant the network you actually work together, the people that you connected them, you ask them the questions, they send you the manuscript, you read it, you make a comment, you send it back. You have time, 1 hour, 30 minutes, you do the statistics together. So I would like to finalize it with giving you an offer. If anybody wants to do any research, any study, I'm here. You have my contact information. We can work together. My only thing is I'm very self-disciplined, so I would like to work with the students, or the professors can work with me constantly. It's not something I will do something. Let's do it next week. It doesn't work that way. We have to be disciplined. We have to schedule a set time. That's what you are supposed to do. You meet with the friends, set a schedule time. Let's say every Monday, 2 o'clock, you meet every Monday, 2 o'clock. You don't even have to start with the project. Just start to chat with people. Start to see how you can start. Eventually, it will turn to a project, it will turn to a paper, and it will turn to a good business in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for your offer. And I'm hopeful, I'm sure that some of the research scholar will definitely, use good time with you, and definitely they will be in touch with you on your through your social media and all, so that you can also give some important inputs in their research work. So with this, we have come to the end of the program. So we have with us our Director Academics, Dr. Anita Kumari, and I request Madam to please propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pankaj sir, and namaskar to all the participants, and especially our special guest from America. Now, good evening to one and all. Respected guest speaker, Professor Dr. John Umit Palabiyik, Assistant Professor, Framingham State University, Boston, USA. Honorable Chief Patron Sri Siddharth Kapoor sir, Managing Director, RKDF University, Ranchi. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Suchitanshu Chatterjee, RKDF University, Ranchi. Respected Registrar Sir Dr. Amit Kumar Pandey, RKDF University, Ranchi. Examination Controller Dr. Kumkum Khawas. I, Dr. Anita Kumari, Director Academics, on behalf of RKDF University, Ranchi, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all our respected speakers for gracing his important work and sharing with us his findings and opinions today. Sir, I personally feel it's a very interactive session. We are having a lot of international webinars, but this is the first webinar as I see, and I personally appreciate the way of speaking and the way of explaining the things, and it's in a two-way process, and we can communicate with you at the same time. So it's in a very active type of things that we find it today. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this interactive session. I may like to express my sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor for his perfect logistic support and guidance he has extended to all of us. I would like to take this opportunity to place and record my hearty thanks to our great motivator and a great leader, Dr. Amit Kumar Pandey, Registrar, RKDF University, Ranchi, who always insists us for organizing this type of event. A big thank you to Dr. Professor Pankaj Chatterjee, HOD, Department of Hotel Management, for organizing and coordinating this international webinar. I also wish to express my gratitude to Dr. Sheetal Topno, Dr. Somnath Chaudhary, Professor Baljit, Rishikant, and Somnath sir for having their technical support and giving all the excellent coverage. I also extend my thanks to all the HODs of RKDF University, Ranchi, and all my faculty members for providing encouragement for this event. Well, we all know that an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago, and it requires a planning, a bird eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of our very motivated and dedicated colleagues of RKDF University, Ranchi, who know their jobs and are result-oriented. Thank you, everyone, for your involvement and willingness to take the completion of the task beyond comfort zone. Thank you all, and a special thanks and namaskar to our key speaker, Umit Palabiyik. Namaskar, sir, from in India.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.